Getting a controversial VAR call or a contentious decision against your team happens on the pitch, and it makes you shout cheat or corrupt against the officials. Well, I have some news for you. Yes, the on-field decisions do affect your club's or country's results, but that can still be corrected over time as everything balances out in the end. But what about the things that can't be controlled by those on-field? How do you rectify that? We are here to talk about the biggest controversies that have happened off the football pitch, and some that have brought the game we love into disrepute or downright disgrace. From the Calciopoli scandal to Adrian Mutu's drug scandal, we are going to talk about them and let you guys decide which of the moments are the most controversial outside of the football pitch. Can you imagine Liverpool or Manchester United get relegated to the Championship right now? No, right? Well, the same thing goes for Juventus in Serie A. And we are talking about the time when Serie A was the best league in the world. But this controversy turned the whole league upside down. It was May 2006 when the scandal broke out. Juventus alongside Regina, AC Milan, Fiorentina, and Lazio were accused of bribing officials for favorable decisions during their games. Juventus were front and center of the controversy. The club's top executive were accused of bribing the referee organization to get decisions that would benefit Juventus the most. Juventus were convicted in this matter and had their 2004-05 Serie A title stripped, and on top of that they were also relegated to Serie B. That meant they lost all their world-class players as well. Other clubs involved were given points deduction for their part in the scandal, and the main culprit, referee Massimo De Santis, was sent to prison for his part in the said scandal. Serie A's reputation took a huge plunge, and to this day the league is trying to recover from that scandal, with the viewership dwindling with each passing year. Thankfully, it is gaining back some of its reputation due to their good show in the premier UEFA competitions, but this was one scandal that almost broke the camel's back. How unaware can one person be? Samir Nasri was a fine player during his heyday. As his career at Manchester City ended, and he had a couple of unfruitful spells, Nasri felt the need to up his game one more time to get that one last big contract. What did he do? To keep himself fit, Nasri went to Drip Doctors in Los Angeles and took a hydrating syringe that was supposed to keep his body hydrated and fit, but little did he know that there were added nutrients with that hydrated water syringe. To top it all off, Drip Doctors posted Nasri's photo with one of the owners of the clinic on their social media handles. Nasri was given a 6-month ban from football, which was then extended to 18-month ban after an appeal from UEFA Ethics. That photo of Nasri standing beside Jamila Sozada, co-owner of Drip Doctors, still makes us chuckle. How can one person seriously be this foolish? Anyway, Nasri played for West Ham and Anderlecht after his doping ban, but it was clear to see he was past his peak a long time ago. Is it fair to call this a controversy? We don't know, but this is such a tragic story that we just had to talk about it. Andres Escobar was a defender by trade and represented Colombia at the 1994 World Cup held in the United States of America. In an unfortunate moment, Escobar scored an own goal which led to Colombia getting eliminated early in the tournament. It did not go down well in his home country. On one fateful night, outside a bar in Medellin, Escobar was standing in a parking lot late at night when 3 men approached him and argued about the game. Escobar was shot 6 times, and every time he was shot, the murderers shouted "goal" at him, clearly showcasing why they were shooting him dead. Escobar was pronounced dead at the hospital, and Colombia's already dwindling reputation took another big hit. It is being reported apparently that a drug cartel boss lost a huge sum of money in betting due to that own goal, and one of his bodyguards shot Escobar dead in the parking lot. More than 120,000 people showed up at the funeral of Andres Escobar, and a statue was also erected in his remembrance. What a tragedy. This one's a doozy. The year was 2009 and Ribery was at the height of his powers, and Benzema was a young gun just starting his way to his ultimate stardom. In a controversial episode, it was alleged that Ribery and Benzema, along with Sidney Govou, had sex with then 15-year-old Zahia Dehar. The legal age of consent in France is 15, by the way, but paying anyone for sex under the age of 18 in France is a crime and punishable by law. And that is what this controversy was all about. The French stars had paid the underage girl for the time spent with her. Both Ribéry and Benzema were acquitted by the French court in the end, and both came out with their image intact. But this certainty was a blot on both the stars due to the given age of the girl this episode went down with. In the end, Ribéry and Benzema have ended their careers with stellar honors. Meanwhile, Zahia Dehar managed to launch her own lingerie line after getting launched into the spotlight due to the scandal. What a confusing mess. As the Euros fever is currently blanketing over the football world, Rio Ferdinand suddenly sprung into the mind and by far the biggest controversy of 2003. In one of the random drug testing done at Manchester United's Carrington training ground, Rio Ferdinand missed the drug testing as he had gone shopping after the training. He eventually pulled up to the Carrington training ground and gave his sample for testing. The test came back negative, but Rio was told he had already breached the rules by skipping the drug test in the allotted time. After an intense meet at the FA headquarters, it was decided that Rio Ferdinand would be banned from playing football for 8 months. That meant he was going to miss the whole season with Manchester United, and to add insult to injury, he also missed the Euros 2004 with England. The English national team almost threw their toys out of the stroller on this decision because Rio Ferdinand at the time was one of the best CBs in world football. And it eventually cost England as well because they were sent packing in the first knockout round by Portugal. Who knows why Rio missed the drug test in the first place and eventually gave it later? Was it deliberate, or was he just unaware of the test happening? Well, it happened 20 years ago now, and only Rio can answer that in all honesty. Ferdinand never played for England in Euros as he missed the 2004 Euros because of this controversy, and England failed to qualify for the next Euros in 2008. At least Rio is getting to be a pundit during the ongoing Euros. Small win? No? Well, moving ahead then. Roman Abramovich had just taken over as Chelsea's new owner, and by now you would have pretty much a good idea how ambitious he was. During a spate of expensive signings, Adrian Mutu was one of them. Having a season of his life at Parma, Chelsea bought the Romanian for a cool 15.8 million in 2003 as part of the Chelsea Revolution. He had a good enough first season with Chelsea, despite a difficult working relationship with then-manager Jose Mourinho. It was after this that Mutu's high dreams of making it to the very top came crashing down. Adrian Mutu was suspended for 7 months after he was caught for cocaine use during a drug testing. Chelsea immediately cancelled Mutu's contract and washed their hands from Mutu's mistake. But Chelsea weren't going to take this blot on their sleeve lying down. Chelsea sued Mutu for the breach of contract, and after years and years of battle in court and appeals by Mutu in response, Mutu was ultimately asked to pay 17 million to Chelsea in damages. This was the single biggest fine that was levied by FIFA. Mutu is currently managing CFR Cluj, and we are still thinking whether he has paid the fine in full already or did he have to take out some sort of loan to pay off such a fine. A mercurial talent wasted by drug abuse. Shame. So, Jack Warner has been in the soup for so many controversies that it made our heads spin as to which controversy should we have been even looking at. Warner has been accused of asking Trinidad and Tobago players to share their earnings for their participation in the 2006 World Cup. Jack Warner also insulted England when they were bidding for the 2018 World Cup, stating in 2007 that England were an irritant for Europe, and that they invented the sport but never impacted it. Warner also insulted Trinidad and Tobago legend Dwight York and was also accused of corruption for leveraging his position for financial gains. Coming back to the English bid for hosting the 2018 World Cup, Warner was again accused of asking for bribe in exchange for votes from England. The guy was shady AF. Here's the coup d'etat though. In 2011, Jack Warner and Mohammed bin Hammam, then president of the Asian Football Confederation, tried a coup to usurp Sepp Blatter as the president of FIFA during the ongoing presidential election by, you guessed it, bringing the members of other football associations. The plan failed and both were handed out strict punishments by FIFA for their role in such malicious acts. So these were some of the biggest off-field controversy in football history, and there are certainly more. You guys can enlighten us by giving us some other big scandals that have taken place outside the field. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers!